Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Today is June 10th, 2021. Well, imagine that, 2026. And it is 9:02. You can see it, kind of. 9:02. And my mom giving you the bird. Hold on a second. I should have closed my blind because it gives a little bit of a reflection. Now listen to the music. Oh, you just got a strike for music. Whatever. Okay, let's start this again. Retake. Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. And today is... Hold on a second. Sorry about that. We're having issues with my banner. We're going to do a retake in a minute. Just give me a second, okay? Uh-oh. We always know something happens, right? Got my glasses with me so I can read. These ones actually fit, but they're gonna fog up. Okay, so hi. We'll do this one more time. Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Today is June 10th, 2026 at now 9:03. a.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming to you live from Cape Coral, Florida. We'll tell you the humidity. I got this little thing over the weekend. The humidity is almost 80%, and it is, what does that say? Like 85 degrees already. So we all know that there'll be a lot of sweating going on. Not worried about it, but just figured I'd share that. So, yesterday I was making some, I brought it, okay. I made a little note too. Yesterday I was talking about abortion and about how, you know, those people the women that go through it, they have to live with that for the rest of their life. Well, I think I need to be more in detail and not just that. I don't get on the Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Actually, I don't even get on Facebook either too much. I don't really get on anything except for YouTube, and mostly I listen to music. And then early in the morning I watch, news stuff. But anyways, so I didn't know that there was a couple that, I guess put all their life out there or whatever, and they had gotten pregnant and they were all excited about it, and then they found out that it was had Down syndrome, so they killed it. Now, I didn't know that, okay? And that lady will probably never have children. Because every time they'll probably tell her that. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't want people to be having children. They don't want people married. They don't want you having children. Do I feel sorry for them? No. No, I don't. I don't feel sorry for anybody that kills their baby. I didn't feel sorry for my friend when she did it. I was just her friend. And she didn't even want to tell me. And it was actually, the reason why I said it, this other girl that was on the YouTubes probably won't have any children, is because my friend that went through that, it was very hard for her to get pregnant, and her husband wanted to have more children, and they were only able to have one, and that pregnancy was pretty rough. So I think that I'm trying to slow down so I can get it all in there. I highly believe that if we taught young girls, about what having children's like, full-blown, showing videos of labor, showing videos of C-sections, showing, videos of when the sperm hits the eggy, the spark of life, showing actually factual things that happen to the baby when they get sucked out with the vacuum cleaner thing, telling them the truth about how they like to take the babies that are older so they can get the parts for them. And And there's some where the baby's, you know, almost ready to come out, and they're delivered live, and then they're like, oh, and the baby's dead, but it's really not, and they take the baby. And listen, the world we're living in is really crazy. And when you don't educate on the truth of things that are really happening, and these young ladies and these women, they don't know, and they think it's just a clump of cells, or it's this or that. They don't know that there's a spark of life at conception. They don't know that within 18 days, 2 weeks pretty much, or probably even sooner than that there's a heartbeat. You know, these are things that they don't know. I believe that's why we have so many abortions. And if there was real education on things like that, and real women that would talk to young ladies and tell them the stories of their life about how, you know, like somebody who went through an abortion, and then if it was hard for them to have children later, and it would teach young ladies that it's not just something to be given away or getting rid of. And then the simple fact of how much we sell sex. Everything is sex, okay? And you got young ladies, most of them think, even the real pretty ones, think that they're ugly, they're fat, they're this, they're that. And that's because of our movies, our education on, oh, well, you should look this way, or you should be this way. And they don't know that they were built beautifully. They think that they have to have this certain, you know, I mean, look at all the models they use. And I'm not talking about the super fat ones, but the real skinny ones, you know, that walk on the runways. They look like, almost like boys anyways. They don't have curves. They're like little sticks, no boobs, no nothing. And that's not a woman. And when we teach our little girls that, sorry, my nose is running. When we teach little girls that they're unimportant and they have to look a certain way and have a certain hair color or anything, and this has been going on for longer than I've been alive. You know, it's always about the new outfit that's coming out, the next hot thing, and it's vanity, and it's not good for the mental status of our young ladies. And then we move on to the boys. You know, there's all this porn out there for them. Women watch porn too, but what I'm talking about is it's giving you expectations that are unrealistic. And when men and boys, when they're growing up, they need to be taught realistic things. And they need to also be taught that they're important, because it doesn't take one person to make a baby, it takes two. That's the point of the spark of life, is to show that. But also, little boys need to be shown that too, because men also have a choice whether or not the child should be aborted. And that's the way it's always should be. And once again, I do not agree with abortions whatsoever, because if I was the leader, there would be no more abortions. It would be illegal. And then a lot of women are, well, that's taking away health care. Where's their health care there? You're destroying your body. You put massive amounts of chemicals in it. And then when you get done sowing your wild oats, right? And you get married and try to have a kid, because all women want that. Some of them will tell you that they don't, and they're just a little mixed up, because way deep down inside, they want it. And as they get older, they think about those things. Well, why did I make that decision? You know? And this is where the education has to come in, because they're being taught that it's okay to sling it out both pants legs. It's okay to act like a man and just sleep with everybody. They're not told that you share a part of your essence, both men and women. You don't, let alone sexually transmitted diseases. But the main part is you share your essence with all those different men you've been with. I didn't know that, okay? I had a different kind of upbringing. My mom was real vulgar about things. I think I was, before the age of 10, I'd already seen what a C-section was and what a natural birth was, because she was very much about educating you at a young age. And not with nothing, no perversion, just like, this is what it's like. If you do this at a young age, it's going to be even, your body's not mature enough. You have to grow more. And always, don't be a whore. She was, used to kill me. Anyways, and that you pay to play. If you're going to be out there doing all those things, there's a responsibility that also comes along with that. And that's, you could get sexually transmitted diseases, and you can get pregnant. And then once you get pregnant, you have that child, and that's with you for the rest of your life. That's a life decision there. But I also know that we don't really listen, because I still remember being young, that we don't want to listen to our parents or elders or whoever it is that's talking to us. We don't necessarily want to listen to them. So that's where the videos come in. That's where the education, the real education comes in, because then you see it and you're like, oh, like, that's not fun. And then they have other women that, like, this is what my mom did, Tell her what it was like when you were going through labor. Tell her this, tell her that. She wanted you to know that it wasn't going to be easy, and life isn't easy, So we have to start, that's one thing that I believe would change a lot socially, is actually giving real education instead of everybody thinking, because it's not healthcare. There's nothing healthy about it that happens to your body whatsoever. And birth control and all that is doing is messing with your hormones, and you may not be able to have children either. You see the whole thing here is to make sure that no more children are born, because they want to be able to control that so they can genetically modify them and make them cyborgs. So I never know where these things are going to go, so I just kind of go with it. And they're going to come for the Christian women. They're going to come for the ones that have been eating healthy and having babies, because they're watching it. And they're watching the birth rate go up for Christians. They're watching all kinds of things. So I'm not saying that it's like a light switch that turns on. I'm saying that gradually things are going to start happening, and the they-them thinks that they're in control. And I don't like any of it. Okay, so I'm trying to put it into words, and I'm just gonna go straight for it. They're coming to take the women that are eating healthy. They're coming to take the women that can have children. They're gonna try to take all of them, because pretty soon all their stuff that they've been doing is backfiring, because God is always in control, and that's what a lot of people fail to realize. And it's like a question we have to ask. Do you think God wants all these babies being born maimed and and I'm saying this because these people are causing these effects. These people are causing Down syndrome. They're causing everything. So it also comes to question, okay, because it just rounded about to that. It also comes to question, this couple, excuse me, did they take the vaccine? It's a good question. Are the young people that took the vaccine, Are their children coming out deformed now? I don't know. And not necessarily Down syndrome, but, you know, like missing organs, two stuck together. That's not normal. I wonder about, I just started wondering about that. You know, like, did they take the vaccine? Because this is very feasible questions we have to start asking now. Are some of these ladies that are having premature babies and everything else, what kind of vaccines did they take? What other drugs did they get shot up into them? Did they take any of that, what is it, GPL1, I think it's called, all the diet medicine? Did they take that? You know, what kind of deformities are going to come out of these women that are doing these things and taking this stuff that the doctor tells them is okay? What kind of effect have we had on the human race? And let alone the human race, because you know that they've been vaxxing up everything. Like things in the wild. I mean, just all kinds of things. So I question, you know, like how much more are we going to start to see now? Because some of those doctors, I don't remember which ones it was, but they were like, well, in 5 to 10 years from now, we'll really start seeing the effects. So how much of the effects are already being seen, but no, we're not seeing it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like it's being seen in the hospitals and stuff like that, but nobody's talking about it. Because, you know, people are still a little afraid to speak, especially around other people. They don't know where they stand on things, and they don't want to offend everybody, you know? So I wonder. It's a good question. All right, so yesterday I talked about, I think I'm done with that one, but if we have to come back to it, I sure will. But I think we're done. Okay. So later on, I'm going to try out my other phone here and see if the Wi-Fi will connect properly. I might have to do it in the house, but tomorrow morning we'll come on a little later, and we're going to call Rick Scott and Brian Daniels together, because I want you to see that I did it, and it's good that other people start doing this too. You know, I know I said yesterday that there, you know, it's like there's no, I didn't say these exact words, but it's almost like there's no hope, you know, but I always have hope. I know what comes later. It's just that right now, things are going to be found out that it hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like when you put your trust into somebody else, regardless of who they are, but you put their trust into them, and and they tell you that they're going to do X, Y, and Z, but then they turn around and they decide that X, Y, and Z ain't going to pay their family for the rest of their life, or whatever, and your betrayal, that's what it is. It's a betrayal. So when you're betrayed in such a manner, it very much can upset your life. It can hurt you. You can cry. You can throw up. Everybody is different. So it's a betrayal. So it's on different levels. People are going to deal with it differently. This is all designed to split us all up. And I've noticed for myself that when I had put so much faith into somebody, and then I saw some things, I was like, this just can't be happening. So I tried to talk in a few chat rooms, you know, like, is anybody else seeing this? And it just went south real quick. So I was like, all right, not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to leave it alone and watch the reaction of the people as this carries on. I don't know how long it's going to carry on, but it's going to keep carrying on for a while. Because we still have 3 more years, and then we don't even know what happens after that. Honestly, do we even know what's going to be happening by the end of this day? We don't. None of us do. Not really. We can make hypothesis or whatever. We can come up to... That's why I believe that it's good to try to stay in the moment the most you can. Unless the moment's kind of poopy, then make up another moment in your mind so you don't have to deal with the poopiness. You know what I'm saying? Sing to yourself. Do something. Listen to music that makes you want to dance. Your kind of music, not my kind of music. What's for you? You know, it's just, betrayal's hard to deal with. And it always has been, and it always will be. Look at Look at the betrayal that Jesus went through with Judas. It hurt him because he knew that it was coming. And then it hurt him. He's a human. Why wouldn't it hurt him? But, that was a big one. I didn't see that coming. There's a lot of pain in this world right now, and there's a lot of people that don't understand. They think that they do, but then their perception will change. And that could be difficult on some people, and I guess that's what the point of it is. So, now, could we get a Hail Mary? Could we get a Hail Mary? Yes, we could. Okay, we could get a Hail Mary where, all of a sudden Trump comes back and, he says no to all this Israel stuff. He says no to X, Y, and Z. Our gas prices go down. All of a sudden, there's no more abortions. There's no more, everybody's mandatory to get vaxxed up or get a chip or get a whatever. That would be great. I would be ecstatic, okay? And I would be like, I'm glad that I was wrong. I'm glad that, I got things mixed up and it went a different way. Because that would make me happy. But I don't think that we're going to get a Hail Mary. Now, if we get a Hail Mary, I'll be like, look, bro, I was wrong. We got a Hail Mary. Everything's going right. We're not going to be bombed. No more spaceships are going to blow up. We're not going to keep having all these tornadoes through our farmland. Think about it. There's a lot of bad weather going through our farmland right now. What's that going to do next year? See, every year for the last 10 years, our growing in America has gone down. We import food more than what we grow in our own country. And most of it, I don't know anymore. It's just, there's things that aren't going to be able to be stopped. Does it make me happy? No, it doesn't make me happy. It makes me mad. It makes me wish, and I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. It makes me want to put my hands around their throats. But I know that that's not the right thing to do. I know that we can't just go hurting them the way that they hurt us. Justice and pure justice has to be done. Facts need to be laid out to the world. And not, goes back to the serenity prayer, and not as I would have it, as it truly is. So, a while back I asked about Russia. Why do they always wanted us to, dislike Russia? They even came out with a show called The Americans. And the Americans were about some Russians that came over here, started a family, became, they were modeled citizens, this and that, but they were actually spies. So, they have that TV show, and they're always about, Russia's doing this, Russia's doing that, when they should be all over the TV telling us what China has been doing and what's going on in the back doors, but they're not real journalists. As in, what's those guys? Oh, we got Tom Lamas. Anyways, on the nightly news. I watch it every night because I want to see what my neighbors are being told that watch the nightly news. And it comes on before Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And I happen to like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. I like watching Wheel of Fortune because people winning. That's what I like. Gotta make sure everything's still working. Okay, that's what I like it for. I really like it at the end when they get the bonus round, you know, and then they win so much money. All them streamers come down. I think that's just the greatest. I want some streamers, bro. Anyways, so also I wanted to say this to anybody who's born on date. Happy birthday. Happy born on date. You made it another year. You're still kicking it and breathing. They didn't take you out. My mom's born on date is the 18th of this month, and I have a brother that has a birthday. I think it's the 15th. I always get it mixed up. It's not my job to remember you're born on date. It's your job, and then to tell me a few weeks beforehand so we could do something about it. You know, like I like to make you your favorite cake. That's what I do. Jimmy can't have cake anymore, so he don't get no cake. So they want us to hate Russia. I don't hate Russia. I don't hate nobody. So I had a dream a long time ago, and I don't know if I've shared this yet, but I had a dream a long time ago that some bears surrounded my yard. But it was kind of weird, the dream, because for some reason these bears did not want to eat my chickens. Like, I even went out there and was like, please, bears, don't eat my chickens. And they didn't say nothing to me, but they never ate my chickens. And then later on, there was all this military that showed up, and the bears moved out of the way. And Putin walked in my house, and I'm like, what's that about? And I'm taking my house as in like America. And what if it is Russia that comes and helps us? How many people are going to be against that? I won't be against anybody that tries to help us get this, these people taken care of, you know, real justice. Everybody that's involved, you know, have a real Nuremberg where actually afterwards the people die. They don't just get pretend hung and go and work for NASA. So that was that. So maybe they will, maybe they won't. I take everything with a grain of salt now, because I know that the programs that the governments have can mess with a person's mind. So I'm trying to keep things to where, one, I feel sane and sound sane. But two, try to decipher through. It's some crazy stuff, bro. So I believe that Russia will help us. And that's that. What else? China and Israel are going to be together. They're already putting it up. And I think it's a possibility. It's a very good possibility that Trump knows about it. And everything I said yesterday, it's a very good possibility. But what do we do when we find out all these things? How many people that are actually going to see things and be like, oh, this sucks? They're going to feel betrayed. They're going to feel betrayed. So we'll do the same thing we did yesterday. I got good old... Oh. So yesterday I shared a story about Solomon and the wind demon, right? I can't remember its name right now. But anyways, that was in the 54 books of the Apocrypha of the Testimonies of Solomon is where I read that at. Excuse me. So it's good to get extracurricular, you know, information And that's what I'm talking about, is there's so much more information that's been pieced together that we have to decipher through it. With the hopes that somebody, that something comes along and gives us the truth. Because I don't want to be standing there and Jesus looks me right in the face and says, I don't know you. I don't want to beg for my life. That's a hard pill for people to swallow, because they Goldie, he's always beating up Whitey. It's the only white chicken I have. So anyways, I don't want to be standing there and Jesus say, I don't know you, bro. You're not coming in. Because they say all you have to do is take Jesus into your heart. And I'm like, okay, so there's all these people that did that, but why does he say this here? Why does he say that he doesn't know any of us? What do we do? What happened? How do we get him not to say that? That's what I'm getting at. Okay, Timothy. Okay, so we're in 1 Timothy 3:14. This is the international version. I'll show you where I'm going to read, because we were literally just talking about that, and I just opened the Bible up. I can't see it. That one right there, I believe. Yeah. It says the mystery of our religion. And it's 1 Timothy 3:14 through 16. Anyways, okay, so here we go. I hope to come to you soon, but I am writing these instructions to you so that if I am delayed, you may know how one ought to behave in the household of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and the bulwark, of the truth. Without any doubt, the mystery of our religion is great. He was revealed in flesh, vindicated in spirit, seen by the angels, proclaimed among the Gentiles, believed in throughout the world, taken up in glory. So, there you go. I don't know how to pronounce. No, that doesn't. It's Bulwark. I can't pronounce it. There you go. I'll read it again because, whatever. I know you can hear me. I hope to come to you soon, but I am writing these instructions to you so that if I am delayed, you may know how one ought to behave in the household of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and bulwark of the truth. Without any doubt, the mystery of our religion is great. He was revealed in the flesh, vindicated in the spirit, seen by angels, proclaimed among the Gentiles, believed in throughout the world, taken up in glory. That's our passage for today. So, what's that? I still want to know why. I really do. I think about it a lot. What am I supposed to change? Is it not my personality, but is it how I'm looking at something? Am I, I'm sweating. Am I, because it's more on a personal basis. This, what can be done, or what can we do as a whole, possibly, that he won't want to say that. Maybe that's the theme for this week. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow morning. Well, I believe that's the end of it. There's things, happy birthday to you. There's things that we're going to have to process more, I believe, on a whole and on individual levels. But the one thing that we need to remember is that God does love us. He loves us very much. And Jesus loves us very much. And a lot of people don't remember that. You see a lot of pain on the streets. There's a lot of pain there. There's a lot of there's a lot of people that have been through some things, you know. And those are the people that need help the most. The question is how do we get to them? Most of them aren't going to listen. Today, it's going to rain. Have a beautiful day. Know that you are loved. He loves you very much. He's waiting for you to hit him up. Give him a call. Have a good day. Have a wonderful day. Find something that's beautiful. Look at it. Think, you know, this guy does his job on its own. Doesn't have to be told what to do. That's it. It's very calm. Yeah, I'll share something with you real quick. You know, I had a lot of fear that never happened, and now I'm going to have mascara because I put a little mascara on. I had fear that I'd never had before. I still don't leave the house that much, but I mean, I wouldn't leave the house at all by myself. There'd be no way. Like, I wouldn't do it. I didn't even like to be in my backyard by myself. And if it was dark outside, I wouldn't even be able to water out here at dark time, because that's when I water. It's the best time to water. I wouldn't be able to water out here by myself. I'd have to ask Jimmy to come out here and sit with me because I'd be afraid. But I'm not afraid anymore. That's why I'm telling you this. And there's people out there that have been going through that. And it's a process, you know. And 2 weeks ago, it's been 2 weeks now. Anyways, I went to that conference and got a lot of knowledge and some insight to be able to know that I'm actually safe everywhere I go. I've been sitting out here at night by myself. And it's a nice feeling when it finally goes away. Are there things that still would make me nervous? Well, yeah, because I haven't been around people. Where I used to be around people all the time. You couldn't even keep me at home. I just didn't want to do it. So it's a learning process is what I've gone through in the last 6-7 years. Actually, I've been going through a learning process for like 46 years. All of us have. Doesn't matter who you are. You're always learning something new. And if you're not learning something new, then you got to try to learn something new. Try to have a good day. That's where that's at. I'm not afraid anymore. Okay? Don't be afraid anymore. On that note, try to have a good day. Regardless of what's thrown at you or what you read or what you see or who says what or what says who, and just be like, you know what? Let me step back for a minute and slow down, because sometimes all of us just react. I'm like a nuclear plant. And my reactor's about to blow. Sorry, that's funny. That was funny. Anyways, I'm done now. And I can't think of anything else to say. And I hope that everybody that watches this can feel, at least by the end, some kind of calmness in your life. Know that you're not alone. Okay? All right. Here comes our friend. So I have to tell you, we got these ravens. I think they're ravens because the way their beak is, it's different than crows. Anyways, they go on the power line over there, and the Spanish guy next door, he throws stuff at them. Sorry, it's not funny. He throws stuff at them to get away. So then they come over here on my power lines, and they get so loud. It makes me laugh. I'm like, well, I guess you shouldn't have thrown nothing at them. All right. Have a good day. And I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time.